Hello, everybody. Welcome to this could be the first. It could also not be.
Just an episode. Let's
The
go with it.
Circle of Jerks. I myself am Gab. This is Grim.
Hi.
There's a lot more of us, but most of us are asleep right now, so we decided, screw it. Let's do the thing. So we're gonna take. We had trouble finding a test, first of all, which you'll see at the end of the episode. It's gonna be hilarious. Trust me, stay for that. But we're taking a test to find what our sexual orientation is, and this is gonna be a blast because we're both pretty sure we're straight, but this could change things. It really could.
Do we want to say the reason now or later, like why we chose to do this?
Because it's controversial, I guess.
No, but more so looking into the fact, like how people rely on things like this in
I
a
guess,
sense.
yeah, it would be nice to see what questions they ask us. We haven't seen the test at all, by the way.
Yeah, because this also plays into like the Facebook quizzes and stuff like that. Like, what kind of sandwich are you? It's
That's
like,
bullshit. Yeah, and then they
I know
ask
I'm
you,
comparing the what kind of sandwich you are to what your sexual orientation is, but how is something
hey,
online
hey,
like
hey,
this going to be like
what's your favorite condiment?
fucking ketchup?
Think you're a ketchup sandwich?
Okay, Gab, getting
Okay,
off track.
alright.
Okay,
So, according to mysexualorientation.com, you're about to take the Epstein Sexual Orientation Inventory. I thought this was whatever. A test of sexual orientation designed by Dr. Robert Thing, one of America's most distinguished research psychologists. Follow on Twitter at. I'm not gonna say his at because I don't want him to get free promotion off of us. That's a joke. Please subscribe. Uh, the test has been empirically validated with a sample of more than 600,000 people in 219 countries and territories. Ooh, ran out of breath. Although many people believe that everyone is either straight, heterosexual, or gay, homosexual, and a sexual orientation also exists in a continuum. The test will show where you are on the sexual orientation continuum and will also calculate your sexual orientation range, an estimate of how much flexibility you have in expressing your sexual orientation. If you are conducting research and would like to collect raw data from a group taking this test for a business research study, classroom activity, or other purpose, please see our group testing instructions. This test is also available in other
yeah,
languages.
languages. Yep.
Before the test itself, we ask you a few basic questions about yourself. To make sure scoring is accurate, please be sure to fill in all the blanks. Required response is made in stars. You guys are going to see us talking and not the actual test. So if you guys want to go follow it, I'm going to put the link in the description. So if you want to follow along, but you guys will be seeing us speaking for the entire video.
Seeing us speaking, Gab.
See and say, okay.
We're starting off on the right foot. Okay.
Cease. My highest degree is associates. I'm kidding. I don't know what that means. High school. Haven't graduated college yet.
Yeah, we'll do it for you. We won't do both of us, although I'm fairly
Oh, we'll do
certain
it for
most
me?
of the things. Yeah, we'll do it
Okay,
for you.
sure, why not? My highest degree is high school. I am other. No, kidding, I'm white. I'm the whitest boy around. Gender, I'm a guy. Sexual orientation. Well, I mean, if you're asking me now, I am straight, I
Yeah, but the
think.
whole point is to take how you actually identify and
I
show
guess.
you like where you
And show
actually
you are
land.
wrong. Turns out you're
It's I
asexual.
just find it funny how they treat it like find
Yeah,
out if you're straight, gay, or in between, and they're like, oh, we're actually going to show you on an orientation continuum, like the
yeah.
range at which you fall under. So it's not actually a specific
That is rude.
answer.
That is rude. Okay, parent. Are they asking me if I'm a parent, or are they asking me if I have parents?
Are you a parent? I
Or
guess.
do you have parents? I'm gonna say no and hope it's the first one. I'm not a parent. I'm very young for that. Select my age. How far does this go just for fun? 95 or over. Okay, that's fun. I am 19 years of age. My location. We're just gonna not say that one out loud. Not that one.
Yeah,
Other
you don't have to.
location. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
just ignore the other
How
location.
fluent
How
am I in
fluent are you?
English? Considering how well I read that paragraph up there, I'm gonna put down a solid 2. No.
No,
I'm putting 10. I'm highly fluent.
yeah, definitely
Over
a
the
10.
years, how much uncertainty have you felt about your sexual orientation? 1. Low as possible. I've never had any doubts of it. Over the years, how much distress have you felt about your sexual orientation? None at all. Over the years, has your sexual orientation changed? No, it hasn't. Thanks.
Wow. Okay, wait. Can we just mention that none of that was part of the test?
That's true. That's weird. I thought that.
It's like, thanks. Now here's the test itself. So
Well,
basically,
what? Is there
they
some?
just want information from you to find out like what demographic you fall under,
I
and then
guess.
based on that and based on how you already identify yourself, they're gonna take that, slap that on a continuum, and say you actually fall under this.
I mean, okay.
There's only 18 questions,
That
so
is
I
weird.
don't know what they think they're
Mhm.
gonna get. From
Anyway, have you ever felt sexually attracted to a member of the same sex? I have not. If you're talking about memes, absolutely. Jason Momoa, Ryan Reynolds, Keanu Reeves, absolutely.
No, they mean like, do you legit like? Have you ever
Like
been
for
like, yeah, I
no,
want to
no,
have
no, no,
sex
no,
with
no,
that
no,
man?
no. I would just like him to undress me. Alright, that's a joke. How strong? How strongly are you sexually attracted to members of the same sex? I would say very strongly. I personally think that Kiki is pretty
Yeah,
attractive.
you read that wrong. So much for that 10 in English.
How strong are you sexually attracted to members of the same sex? That's what I said.
Gab, what gender are you?
Oh fuck. I'm dumb. I'm gonna change that English fluency to fucking -2.
No,
We'll keep 10. Whatever, doesn't matter. Have you ever had a dream about a sexual encounter with members of the same sex? I have not.
I don't.
Have
think
you
I
ever had a waking fantasy about a sexual encounter with members of the same sex? No. What are they hoping to get out of this?
No, it's because you know how sometimes, like, let's say you're in public, somebody cuts you off, and then you have like this vision in your head, like this overly aggressive vision. Well, you don't drive, so you wouldn't really know.
No, at work I get that all the time.
And then
but-
you think to yourself, why the hell did I just think that? That's like
Yeah,
way
no, that's-
over my personality.
I
I
read
guess they're
about
trying to
that.
get that same kind of
I guess I read about that,
reaction,
but I've never.
like.
I read about that before, but I've never gotten it sexually. I've gotten it like I want to kill this bastard, and I'm like, woo, I'm not a man. What's
So
going on?
based on these questions, I assume it's for a person
Yeah,
who's more
guess.
like iffy on their stance.
Have you ever felt sexually aroused when you've had an exposure to two people of your same gender having a sexual encounter through gossip, video, or other means? Are they asking if I've ever watched gay porn?
Pretty much, if you've seen.
If I've seen it and then
porn,
felt sexually aroused. Actually,
Yeah.
no. I'm more like Aaron in that situation. When the gay porn comes on, it's pretty soft. Alright, give me a minute. For that, okay. Have you ever voluntarily had sexual contact, such as kissing or petting, with a member of the same sex? Petting is sexual contact? I guess I've given a little pat to the head on my cousin, if you count that as a sexual contact.
It's not that type of petting.
Okay,
That's not what they mean.
Freaking thank God, because I was like, I guess I'm a sexual predator now.
No. It's more so petting. Not necessarily foreplay, because it's not always done with the goal of having sex, but it's
I
essentially
guess, yeah.
playful touching.
Would you be willing to have sexual relations? I would not. I mean, how much money am I getting out of it? Will it help me pay for college? Yes. Yeah. How frequent are your same-sex sexual fantasies or dream? I never have them. How frequent are your same-sex sexual encounters? I never have them. Have you ever felt sexually attracted to a member of the... What? No. Stop. How strongly are you sexually attracted to... Not at all. Like, most of these questions answer themselves. How is this like a...
I assume it's different questions asked somewhat differently to like bring out the nuances, because they said it's a continuum, so in a sense it's a spectrum. They need to be as specific as possible.
Have you ever had a dream where you could do anything?
No. Okay.
Have you ever had a dream
about
about
a sexual encounter with a member of the opposite sex?
No, I have not. Have you ever had a waking fantasy?
No. Have you ever had a dream about a sexual encounter with a member of the opposite sex?
Yes, absolutely, I have. All the time. I'm straight, right? Dad.
Have you ever had a waking fantasy about a sexual encounter with a member of the opposite sex? Yeah.
Waking fantasy? I have not actually.
You've never had a wait. What do you? You've
No.
never been like
Yeah,
just looking
actually,
at someone and like imagining what you'd be doing if you were with that
yeah.
person. There's no way that your
Okay.
hormones.
No, I'm constant. Okay, because I'm constantly thinking of I would be in public in this situation. But no, I have to think if I'm awake and I'm like, damn, I'd fuck this person, and it's like going through my head.
It's essentially that. Like you don't have to be
Yeah.
doing. You don't have to be imagining yourself doing that with them. With
No,
like in the
I
current
was.
area, like you could be, oh, like I'd bring her home and do that, or like you
Yeah,
could,
no, I was. I was because I was thinking like I have to be in public for this situation, but I don't.
yeah.
So
It could
yes.
you could literally just be sitting like right now. Like right now you just start thinking about like a cute girl that you saw. Well, I'm talking about in general, just some.
Oh shit. It's happening. No, I'm kidding. Have you ever felt sexually aroused when you've had exposure? Yeah, I watch porn.
Wait, have you ever felt sexually aroused when you've had any exposure to someone of your gender having a
Having someone
sexual
with the
encounter with
opposite sex. So, if I watch straight porn, am I aroused? Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
I
pretty
mean, I'm
much.
not focusing on the dick, you know?
Is that what they're getting at there? Because
I
they're
hope.
talking
I mean,
about
if
the
they say I'm
exposure.
slightly gay for that, then that's going on the news.
I mean, like, whatever. Have you ever voluntarily had sexual contact, such as kissing or petting with a member of the opposite sex? Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Would you be
Would you be
willing to have
willing to
sexual
have.
relations with the opposite sex? I would be willing if you paid me enough. I'm kidding. I'd do it without money. How
I'll pay you.
oh, reverse prostitution. How frequent are your opposites all the time? How frequent are the encounters? I mean, if I was a slut all the time, but I'm not.
So rare or occasional?
Uh, I mean that's just because I'm a loyal boy and my girlfriend does not live near me. So I guess I'll say rare or occasional, but if that makes me slightly gay, then all right, submit. Yep, I'm
Makes you
3 on the gay scale
out of what?
out of 18. So on the sexual orientation
Oh, so
continuum,
each of these questions brought you closer, like depending on how you
yeah.
answered it.
What? So I have some slight same-sex attraction because I watch straight porn and don't have
Yeah,
a
that
girlfriend
was
that lives near me.
question 14. Have you ever felt sexually aroused when you've had any exposure to
Are you
someone of your
serious?
gender having a sexual encounter with somebody of the opposite sex? But why is it focusing on the same gender?
Man,
Because now the problem is,
I'm
it's
trying
like,
to come to terms with the fact that I'm 3% gay. This is hard for me.
yeah, no, but I'm talking about somebody who actually takes this more seriously.
I
Like
guess.
somebody who will actually take this test and be like, oh, I thought I
Hold
was
on, wait. I'm gonna
straight, but I'm
transform.
actually
Hold on. All right.
like somebody who actually like does this and then they're like, oh shit, I'm actually like 50%
Well,
gay. I've
actually,
never really thought about it.
what's the percentage? What's the percentage of 3 on 18?
It fits 6 times.
So 17% rounded up. I'm 17% gay. Damn it, man.
Apparently, regardless of how straight you are, I forgot where it was that I had heard this. Regardless of how completely straight you are, everybody has a little bit of gay in them.
I'm sorry, the way you phrased that is very funny to me.
No, that's legit how it was phrased. Like even if you're
A
like the
little
most
bit of
strict,
gay
like
inside my mind.
straight person ever, apparently you can still have a little bit of gay in you. Just because. So what's your reaction to this, Gab?
Still trying to come to terms with it, man. I gotta try gay sex now.
I wonder what are they trying to get out of this though?
I mean, maybe they're trying to help other people. Maybe they're like, oh, people are confused about their dicks. I mean, okay, hold on. It says same-sex attraction 0, sexual orientation range 0, mean sexual orientation. I don't know what that means, but that's at 2.5.
Mean is average.
That's 2.5. I don't really know out of what, between what. Opposite sex attraction 13, same sex 0, sex drive 6.5. Not a lot. Out of
6.5 out of 8.
All values are from 0 to 18. How do I get 18 on opposite sex attraction? How?
How did you not get it?
No, how do you get it?
By answering things like
Do
for
you
number
say
14.
do you say that you don't like? Wait, let me go back. Hold on. Let me try saying that I don't like straight porn. I gotta re-answer everything.
I actually have it. You want me to answer it? I've been answering it when you did it.
Sure. Oh no.
I
Yeah.
put the initials as GG. So number 14
No.
would be no instead. So, have you ever voluntarily? I guess you would also have to answer how frequent are your opposite sex sexual encounters
Yeah, and
as
then you'd have to be like
frequent.
absolutely frequent. Yeah.
So let's see if I change
So are you
14 to
telling
no.
me because I choose to be a loyal boyfriend that makes me gay?
Yep, it changes literally nothing.
Oh,
Sex drive 6. Didn't you say 6.5?
I did.
Opposite sex attraction 12.
What?
Same
What did you
sex
change? Did you
attraction
make
0.
the
14 I changed to no, and 18 I changed to frequent
Wow, and
sexual
it make
encounters.
what? I guess
Yeah.
I guess if they think you don't watch porn but you fuck a lot. I don't understand how that works.
The thing that gets me about this is the way like they word it. They're like a test of sexual orientation designed by Robert Epstein, one of America's most distinguished research psychologists. I get that it needs to be like simplified or short, or else a lot of people aren't going to want to take it. But to say that the test has been empirically validated with a sample of more than 600,000 people.
I don't know if that makes it any more valid. The fact that you've had how many people is it? 650,000?
600,000 people in 219 countries and territories.
Does that really validate your test? Were people like, "Oh, this is accurate"? I mean,
I wouldn't
the
say
questions
just
are
based on the fact
so
that they did it
simple.
makes it valid. Yeah, they're trying to say that it's so complicated and there's a spectrum to your sexual orientation, but then they're like,
It can't
we're
be
gonna
that precise
ask
if it's all
you,
out of 18.
yeah, we're gonna ask you basic information in 18 questions and tell you, like
Like
where
the
we think you
most
land.
basic shit.
It's not even. It's kind of vague. Most of them are yes and no. Like there's no.
All of them are like, do you think about the opposite sex sexually, or do you think about the same sex sexually? And it's all just phrased differently.
I
Like
mean, yeah, I think it was number 1. That's if.
just straight up.
Let's see, opposite sex, opposite sex. All these are opposite sex. Oh, because it words it differently. Number 1 is, have you ever felt sexually attracted to a member of the same sex? And then 7 is, would you be willing to have sexual relations with someone of the same sex? So regardless of whether or not you've already felt sexually attracted, would you be
wait,
willing
so would you
to?
be more straight if you said that you had sex with the opposite gender and then you say that you don't want to?
But 7 is for same sex. It's not for opposite sex.
I guess, but if the test thinks, oh, so he's tried gay sex and he no longer likes it. So does that make me more straight?
Good question. No, because then they're looking at how you actually. But that wouldn't make sense.
I don't.
Wouldn't that make you more gay in a sense because you've already tried it out?
I feel like this is really, really oversimplifying what
That's
it's
what I'm
like to be
saying.
straight
Like,
or gay.
for them to say that there's a spectrum from 0 to 18 of your sexual orientation and to only give you
76
18
genders.
questions,
Sorry, I
there's
got
more
you
than
on
that
that.
now.
Oh, shut up, man. I don't want to hear that garbage.
Let me see how it says 63 over here. I could have swore there were Facebook's 71 gender options come to UK users. This was back in 2014.
Wait, what? Facebook is adding more gender options?
Apparently, it's a thing in the UK. Following its successful integration in the US Facebook users can choose from one of 50
Yeah,
gender
yeah.
options. UK Facebook users can now choose from one of 71 gender options, including asexual, polygender, and
Yeah,
two-spirit
you're reading
person,
the
following
article
the
by
features.
Rhiannon Williams.
Rihanna Williams, yeah. Users can
Rihanna?
choose
I
between a
wish.
dip.
Oh,
Rhiannon.
custom. Which pronoun do you prefer? Wish her a happy birthday. What the hell? Come on, guys. You really need
So
the
they
21
allow you to pick custom
jeez.
ones, but the pronouns. Oh, okay. The pronouns would be he, his, her, or their. So they use they.
So wish them a happy birthday. Okay.
Yeah, I still find that kind of weird because for me, they is referring to.
I feel like, do you really need that much validation in your life? Do you have such little positivity that this makes you feel so happy that you need it? Like,
if you look at it from our point of view, like imagine like there was no option for him. Like,
why would I care?
But
I don't need to be validated.
No, I'm just saying that's
hard.
what some people say because
man or woman.
They'll say that
okay?
you're not actually worried about it because it's always been an option for you to have your option, which is he.
But if I woke up and Twitter was like, okay, if anytime you type the word him or his, your tweet is banned or whatever. I don't know, some really, really extreme garbage. I'd be like, okay, suit yourselves. I don't care. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing. Some people actually do care. Obviously, if it's been all this stuff going on, some people actually do care.
But they require such intense, constant validation of how they feel. Everybody's got to be like, yes, you're normal.
Because
like, just live life, man.
You have always identified as a boy, so some people change, so they feel like they need to put more validation towards the change to confirm with themselves that they have actually become what they believe they are, like trans woman, trans man. Like they started as a woman, started as a man, and
you have a fair point, understandable, but listen to this. There's 71 options. So we've got asexual, which is no attraction to any of them, which that's what I think it is, if I understand correctly. Which, you know what the purpose of human beings are, right? Is to reproduce, right?
But not everybody looks at human beings in that way.
Yeah, but that's the science!
But that's, as soon as you forget about biological gender and you go into how you identify yourself, you're starting to ignore, or you're starting to get the possibility to ignore biology, because then you're going with what you want, with what you feel. I could feel like a woman right now. My penis is still there. Exactly. Like, I'm looking at some of these and I don't even know what some of these are.
What the fuck is a T-star man? A T-star woman? What? Okay.
A trans male, trans woman?
No, because that's later. That's somewhere else.
I don't know what the star is.
Female to male trans woman, female to male trans female to male trans man, female to male transgender man, female to main transsexual man, F2M, which I assume is female to male. Or
what are you looking at now? Where
there's the 21 new options coming, and then below that is the 50 already currently existing options.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 50 already existing.
Yeah,
I don't see the 21.
Gender neutral, which I don't understand.
That one, that's kind of like saying you don't really agree with any gender. It's like there's no gender at all that you identify as far as I know.
There are 71. Really? That's like playing Smash Ultimate and being like, none of these characters are interesting or cool.
No,
Just fucking
like
pick one, man.
like the 50. Okay, let's go through these real quick.
Wait. I know.
Agender.
I'm a female to male, fucking trans subway man. Fuck you. I don't fit in any of these. That's what it's become, at least
See,
in my
I
head.
feel like some people treat it like that.
Yeah,
Some
and
people
then
treat
there's
it more
there's
so.
71 options. They scroll through all of them, then they complain on social media that they're not accepted enough. It's like
Some people treat it that way. They're like, I
Would
could
you
be whatever I
just-
want, whenever I want to be it, and other people legitimately feel it. You got to understand how small of a minority that. Like it's very loudly spoken about, but it's a very, very small minority of people who fall within the 71 gender area. Well, it's a lot of people still, but it's a small percentage.
Hermaphrodite, that I know what that is. That's like an actual thing, which is like an extremely small percentage of people that are actually born with both. But there's still.
Are you still looking at the
new options? Yeah, I want to go through
okay.
these like pretty slowly. Intersex, I don't know how that's different from being trans, like going from between the two.
Intersex people are individuals born with any of several variations in sex characteristics, including chromosomes, gonads, sex hormones, or genitals that, according to the UN Office of the High Commissioners for Human Rights, do not fit the typical definitions for male or female bodies. Okay.
There's intersex person. Okay.
Oh, what's the difference between a hermaphrodite and intersex? In the past, the word hermaphrodite was used to describe people who have sexual characteristics that are both male and female, but today many people prefer to use the word intersex. Hermaphrodite is considered offensive by some people.
What? Come on, guys.
So they mean the same thing, and hermaphrodite could be offensive?
They mean the same, yeah. They mean exactly the same thing, but hermaphrodite, some people find it offensive, so you can't use it.
So if you're hermaphrodite, you're intersex, but intersex does not mean hermaphrodite?
Everything could be offensive if I choose it to be offensive.
Well, apparently at this point, he and she is offensive. So it all depends on how you look at it. Decides to look.
Where's the line? When are we gonna draw the line on this?
You can't draw the line. We've already erased the line and brought the list down and down and down.
This just exists now, and there's nothing that we can do to really stop it.
Now,
man and woman is a new option. What?
Excuse me?
Instead of female and male, there's man and woman now. Because apparently that's different. Somebody's gonna put in the comments that I'm a bigot for not knowing what the difference is, even though I don't care.
Even I don't know the difference.
M2F.
Unless that they're just replacing male, unless it literally isn't supposed to be a difference.
Polygender, which just sounds like a new Pokemon, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. T multiplied by man.
Wait, what even is polygender? You feel multiple genders at once? Gender identity, which can be literally translated as many genders. Polygender people experience multiple gender identities, either simultaneously or varying between them.
Do you know what schizophrenia is, Grim? I think you just described to me schizophrenia.
I feel like as much as we need to allow people to have the freedom to express themselves in like a way, I feel like at some point it's being taken.
I feel like this is
too far.
So unnecessary.
Okay, I'm always playing devil's advocate. As much as
and I love that you're doing that. I find it's fantastic that you're doing that, because then we don't just constantly agree on shit, and that's good.
Yeah, like regardless of what I agree, I am always willing to look at like the other side, regardless. But like, I
have more of a hard time on this specifically because of the freaking volume of people that just want to be accepted for something that doesn't matter. I understood when it was like when I read about like the history of the blacks and how all that happened. Like that was messed up. That was not okay. None of that was okay. Like they got less access to stuff. They got like abused and treated like freaking monkeys. Like that's just messed up. None of that's okay. and that's because of the skin of their color. It's something they can't change. Okay, cool. Gender is also something. It's a very loose term nowadays. I have no idea what the hell it means anymore. But like, sure, if you were gay or lesbian back in the day, that people really discriminated you for that, and you got, again, less access to stuff, and you weren't accepted as much. Okay. And then it evolved into bi, which was like kind of a combination of the two, which is okay. And then once we accepted the three of them, people were like, well, accept me for this too. And we were like, okay. And then they were like, accept me for this too. We're like, okay. And then people that just shove themselves into these groups of gay and lesbian are like, oh, I was also discriminated on. No, you were not. You're just shoving a word down all of society's throat to get yourself validated for something that's never happened to you. You haven't been abused. You haven't been discriminated. And if you have been, it's not because you're a T multiplied by man or a polygender or a two-spirit person. It's because you have no personality other than shoving your fucking multi-sided dick down everybody's throats. Excuse my language. I'm really mad about this.
Yeah, no.
Like,
okay.
It doesn't make sense to me. It's like if I went up to everybody and I was like, I'm a gamer. I've been abused. Accept me for it. You would be like, okay, I don't care.
Okay, wait. First of all, let's just start at like the beginning of like gender and like biology and whatnot. Like before, gender was not separate. Well,
it shouldn't be,
I guess it kind of was separate from like biology in a sense, where like
where it's how
you
feel.
If you had a penis, you
to...
were a male. If you had a vagina, you were female. So they were linked one to one with each other. And now,
and people
gender,
no longer,
it's being split. So gender now is it's ignoring biology.
Because people are saying, like, if I have a penis, that doesn't mean I'm a man. And I'm like...
Yeah, it's becoming less biology-oriented and more like how you feel, how you identify. Yeah. And I feel like regardless, like, you could give an endless amount of options, and regardless of how many options you get, there's always going to be more to add because human thought is endless. The amount of combinations we can make is endless.
But it's not, but the thing is, it doesn't matter. Like, if...
To you.
No, think about it. If you had to hide the fact that you were gay in the past because you wanted to, you wanted to exist normally, and then you revealed that you were gay, and everybody was like, oh, he's the worst person off for it.
Yeah.
If nowadays, if you reveal yourself as fucking... wait, let me find one of these random ass fucking words. Neutre, which I'm pretty sure is a French word. Trans multiplied by female. There you go. There's one. You don't get less access to basic society. You're not forced to sit in the back of the bus. You're not forced to... I don't know what were gays forced to... I'm not really good with the history. I just know they were discriminated. But you don't get shunned away from society for it. As long as you continue to act like a normal human being, I don't care. What you do behind closed doors in your bed is none of my business. Do what you want with whoever you want. But, like, why must this be everywhere? Why must you be validated so hard?
I don't understand why it would be some places like governmental sites and stuff like that, but let's just say, because we were looking at Facebook now. Yeah. If you look at Facebook, let's assume that the gender... First of all, Facebook is all about describing yourself. Like, it's all about you. So I guess in their minds, giving them more options was a way to allow them to express themselves. And let's say you put gender fluid, and you want to find more people who identify as gender fluid as well and who are open about that. So it's a way of, like, connecting with other people who you consider to be similar to yourself.
But is that really a conversation topic?
It is for people who feel as though they're ostracized for, like, their gender.
That's like if I said I feel like I'm depressed. I want to find other depressed people and talk about it. I feel that way. I just feel that way. Okay, no, wait. If I feel like I'm a sexual orientation and I want to talk to other people about it, I'm not gonna talk about that.
No,
Like,
but it you can't really use like depression in a sense
no,
to
yeah, that was a
describe
bad
it,
example.
because like
That was bad on
depression
my
is
end.
always a negative,
Yeah,
whereas like
that
you
was
can
not a good
be
example.
happy and be gender
Yeah,
fluid, or you could be
yeah.
sad and be gender fluid. So it's kind of like it's not just
Like
a one-sided coin.
you can be whatever you want. Identify as whatever bullshit word you want. Like, what is one of these? Oh wait, no, I already went through 50. Cis, which sounds like a YouTube poop phrase. If I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
There's actually cis female,
Yeah.
cis male, cis man, and cis woman, cisgender female, cisgender male,
Stop saying
cisgender
six
man,
in French.
cisgender woman. And there's also female to male, and then FTM. There's a difference between female to male and FTM. I
Wait,
thought female
there's
to
a
male.
difference between FTM and F2M?
No. Female to male, literally spelt out all three words properly.
Yeah.
And then beneath it, it's FTM.
No, but what's the difference between FTM and F2M?
Wait, those are options?
FTM, MTF, F2M, and M2F.
I have to look that up now. So it's FTM
Oh,
versus F2M. Let's see
you
what the
could write
difference
a
is.
college course on this.
Apparently, it's the same thing.
Then what?
If you look up FTM, it brings up the wiki for a trans man. And where is it that it puts it? Oh, the term trans man is used as a short form for identity, for either identity, transsexual man or transgender man. It's commonly referred to as female to male, FTM, or F2M.
Okay. I want to get this clear right out of the way. You can be whatever you want. I don't care. But if that's your leading personality trait, we're not going to be good friends.
I guess in the same sense where, like, if I just went up to you and I'm like, yo, I'm a straight man, you should respect me for that. It's like that's not how it works.
Yeah, if somebody went up to me and was like, I'm straight, I'd be like, why are you leading with that? I don't care. I don't want to know. I'm off the market, buddy. That last part was more jokingly, but
yeah,
it's like I don't care, and the people who do care, why do you care?
Okay, I need to go through the trans list because this is literally like half of them. There's trans female, trans male, trans man, trans person, trans star female, trans star male, trans star man, trans star person, trans star woman, transsexual female, transsexual male, transsexual man, transsexual person, transsexual woman, transgender female, transgender person, trans masculine, and two spirit.
And trans fat. That's my last joke. I'm sorry.
I feel like there's too many options now. I understand that because before all this happened, there was only male and female. Before you could even put other, like when it's just you were man or you were woman. Like, I feel like other in most situations would be fine.
Yeah. You can tell yourself, or you can believe, or you can feel, whatever the fucking word you want it to be. You can be like, I don't identify as a man or a woman, or male and female, whatever. Are we dogs now? Or are we fucking female? Whatever. Man, woman, I don't identify as either of those. Just put other. We get it.
Let's look at it in the situation where, let's say, drivers, like Medicare card or something like that. Let's say you have to put your gender's on your driver's license. So let's say
okay, where's my wallet? I don't know where it is. It's in the pants somewhere else. But like, that's gonna take a while to make sure to fucking print all that actual, and then people are gonna come back and be like, you put down female, just like, yes, you have long hair, you clearly have breasts from what I am able to tell. And that to me,
see, that's what I was talking
you a woman.
about.
And then they're like, no, I'm actually bisexual. And they're like, the police don't care. that's the only people
By
that
the
care
way,
what's on your driving's license. Because if they stop you and they're like license and registration, and you receive it, they want to
did
know if your physical appearance, because they don't care what you do in the bedroom.
yeah,
Nobody
that's what I
cares.
was getting at for physical
Mm-hmm.
appearance. By the way, I think you meant bigender, not bisexual. Bisexual is an orientation.
You're right. They don't put orientation
Bigender
on
is
it. It's a
yeah.
gender. Yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
man. Like,
But no, what I'm saying is, let's say you go fucking if you pull somebody, if a cop pulls somebody over, he looks at the license, and the license says gender cis.
yeah.
Okay,
What are they
cis,
gonna do?
cis what? Not that it matters in the sense where you just like look the name, the picture, you verify it's the same person. I
And
just
you
feel like it
verify it's a legal
adds
document. Yeah.
legally, forget about emotionally or what you
Yeah.
want to consider yourself to be. Legally, I find that adding more gender options
It's
creates more
pointless.
complication.
It's
Not
pointless.
pointless.
I
It,
think
it
I
just
think it's pointless.
it adds. It's like adding more words, going into a thesaurus and just like taking out words that mean this like the same thing, but they're slightly different, and
Yeah.
adding them all in a sense. Like I said, I get it. A lot of people identify like more specifics, and it's really important to them. Like
Yeah.
between like cisgender male and cisgender man, I
I really
don't
don't. Yeah.
get male versus man. Let me see if there's like woman
The,
and man. Oh, that's why. Okay, are you ready?
oh, I'm ready to hear this one.
Woman and man are nouns. Male and female are genders. So now
What?
male and female are a gender identification. Woman and man are related to said gender identifications, but they are treated as nouns. So the specification is not only the identifier, it's the noun, what type of word it is.
You're going after our grammar now? Like,
It might mean something else. I don't know. This is literally just
yeah, no, don't worry about it.
could. Oh, let's see. Word choice. What is it? Let's see. Is there any?
At a certain.
Okay. This is what somebody answered. Somebody asked, "What's the difference between man, male, woman, female?" Man, an adult male, as distinguished from a boy or a woman. Male, pertaining to or characteristic of a male person, masculine. Woman, the female human being as distinguished from a girl or a man. And female, relating to or characteristic of female person, feminine. So man is specifically an adult male. So you can, does that mean if you are not legally an adult, you can identify as a man? Like you're a young boy, you're 14, you're making your Facebook. Does that mean you could identify not as male but as man?
Why? What? Why? Why do you care so much? Why? Why?
Like
Do
for
you
me,
care so
for
much?
me personally, I feel like it's just a bunch of nuanced like differences between them that aren't
All I heard
like
was a bunch of words coming out of your mouth. I tried. I focused very hard. I was like, okay, I can figure this out. I got this. I'm gonna. And then you just none of it. It was all
like
in one ear and out the other.
it's
And then
like
back
you
in
said
and back out.
before. Like I respect the fact that they can do what they want. It's up to them. It's their body. It's their
go for
life.
it.
But once your identification, your life starts to change life for the majority of people when
Yeah.
it's represented by a minority, it's
Once
that's
it
when it
starts affecting
becomes.
me is when that's a problem, and it is the biggest problem.
I guess in the same way I view religion. I'm not anti-religion.
Yeah, it's the
I just
same.
I in my point in my life, I don't care about religion. It's just like I don't think about it. It's not something I think about. It's not a thing in
Yeah.
my life.
Thing
If
is,
somebody wants to talk to me
mhm.
about the religion, I'll talk to them about it. That's fine. If somebody
I'll
wants
talk
to talk to me about,
as far as I can understand, man.
but as soon as you start telling me you need to follow my religion
I have a
because
problem
my
with that
religion is
one.
the best, and it's gonna make you a
Yeah.
better person. Look, you're not a good person. It'd be better if you identified or like followed this specific religion because it's something that would make you more of a whole person.
Wait a
That's
wait a minute. One of the options for gender is neither. That neither is between two options, right? You what you
neither.
want to say here is none, not neither, because neither it means you don't want one or the other. It's an option between two.
Is it? I think that's referred to as the third gender. It's third gender or third sex is a concept in which individuals are categorized either by themselves or by society as neither man nor woman. It is also a social category present in societies that recognize three or more genders. Isn't then wouldn't that fall under oh my what was it? Not gender fluid.
Non-binary?
Yeah, non-binary. Wouldn't that be the same thing?
Then what's the difference? And why
Let's
is
see.
there trans masculine but not trans feminine? Why? Why is fucking half of this list missing? I did. I. This is hurting my head, man. I don't even know. Like the thing is, I wouldn't mind so much if first of all, if the list wasn't so long and full of just inane garbage that nobody cares.
I mean,
people do care. People, of
you got
course,
to think
people
about how
care.
inclusive Facebook is really trying to be inclusive now
Sure,
because
but
Facebook is for the people. So if you're not being
I'm sorry,
inclusive
that's a
for the
political
people,
quote. That's fine, but
hmm?
for the people, that's the
Oh,
Captain
yeah,
Falcon quote. But
yeah.
uh, like, where's the line? What if I just showed up and I'm like, oh, you haven't included fucking W2D. That's me. That's what I want. That's what I am. That's woman to
There is
dictator. I sexually identify as a dictator. There
there
you
are
go.
specific situations where there is a line drawn, like maybe like political institutions and stuff like that, where there is a line that has to be drawn to keep some kind of order. But I feel like the list for Facebook, as long as there's reason for them to continue adding to the list, they will. As long as there's more genders to add, they have no reason
The
but to
reason
add
not
them.
to. I don't care what Facebook does. This is not Facebook.
But you know how much Facebook affects people. There's a lot of people. Personally, I don't use Facebook. I don't care about it.
Yeah, I stopped
But
using it a while
there's a
ago.
lot of people who use it on the daily for news, talking to people, stuff like
I'm
that.
sorry, but the way
Even
you said
people.
news made me think you were gonna say nudes. Move on. A lot of people use Facebook for nudes, guys. That's why we gotta have all these options to make sure you get nudes from the right people.
No, I just
We're,
feel like
we're,
it
we're
affects
looking out for you.
people. So
It
now some
does, but
people who didn't even know that was an option, now they're gonna look at this list. They're gonna be like, "What are all these?" Some people don't even know that's a thing.
it
So
affects
that
them, but it shouldn't. Is another one of my points. This shouldn't affect you. It's gonna prevent you from going places in life, but solely because you decide that you have to fucking. I'm swearing a lot. I just
yeah, it's
noticed.
fine. It doesn't matter.
The fact that
It's
that
past
it's
one
like
in the morning, and we're
yeah
talking about gender. We have reason
that
to
it's
have.
like
Like,
it's like your main personality point, and most people are probably not going to enjoy constantly talking about something that doesn't interest them. And I was getting something. I forgot.
so wait, are you pretty much getting at the point that their identity is not what they identify as? But okay, I'm
No.
going to be using the word identity a lot. Their identity is not what they actually are, but it's the fact that they identify as said identity,
No,
as said gender.
I don't care about all that. It's the it's who fucking it's the fact that oh, I had my point in my head and now it's gone. I had it and it just flew away like a T-star woman person just flew away. A T-star bird just flew away. There goes my point.
You forgot it.
Ah. Oh, it's gone. It's
Okay,
gone.
let's see if you remember it. Let's just We're rolling back all the servers on Facebook now. We're rolling it back to when there was male, female, and other.
Yeah.
How would that be any different right now? Let's say right now, let me
Yeah,
go look at the
I
list.
mean,
Let's say right now you identify as let's say transsexual female.
yeah.
What difference
I
would it
wish I
make
was a woman.
right now if you put transsexual female versus
Other.
other?
Yeah.
What would that change? Aside from not specifically pertaining to your specific definition of who you are, what your gender is,
That's
what
the
else would it change?
on basis
Other
you
than
must be. Yeah.
soothing your need to be specific as possible. I get why some people would want to be specific. Don't get me, I understand why they want to be
Yeah.
specific. But in terms of actually adding it to the list, does it actually create a more positive environment? Does it change anything for the better for
Doesn't feel like
anyone
it,
other than yourself?
because the people that are complaining about this are the people that would complain about anything. Like, if you don't have your specific gender on that list, you're gonna go complain about it. But now that it's on there, feels like that's not that big of a win now, is it? All you got is a couple fucking. All you got is a string variable on a click down list on Facebook. And nobody. Like, you're like the one person better off for it.
Yeah, but then you have to look at the fact that some people, that identity to them means a lot.
It
It's not
shouldn't.
just.
If that defines who you
It
are, you're
shouldn't,
pretty
but
freaking shallow. That was
that's
my point.
you. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's you, that you personally don't care about gender. It's like some people don't care about politics. Other people live for politics, watch the news
But
daily.
if that
They know
defines
everything
who
about.
you are, that's not exactly the best. That you're not gonna go very far with that. If that defines who you are, I am a fucking. Let me see. I am a genderqueer. Fuck it. And then it's like, any other things I should know about you? No, that's kind of it. I just like telling people I'm genderqueer. Do you have a favorite kind of music? Oh, I only listen to music by other genderqueer people. Okay.
Wait, genderqueer is non-binary?
Does you want to know?
Non-binary,
okay, the way
also known as genderqueer.
So the way you said that literally the first thing that popped into my head was, does Bruno Mars is gay? That was about as interesting. That was about the same level of interesting as that. But so, like, that's the thing. I'm not gonna go around and my only personality point is the fact that I play video games. I have other personality traits. Like, there's more to me.
You personally view it. The fact that it shouldn't matter more than that, whereas some people view it as it should matter more.
I'm not saying people are wrong for being this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, like, why.
From an objective standpoint?
From an objective standpoint, you should have more to yourself than your sexual orientation. Especially because if you are monogamous, that will only matter to one person for the rest of your life. If you're polygamous, whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you're monogamous, your sexual orientation is only going to matter to the person you're having sex with. Nobody else. If somebody at work came up and was like, I'm gender fluid, I'll be like, cool, I don't care, and that kind of makes me not want to talk to you, because this is sex. This isn't something you talk about to random people. And Facebook is full of people you don't know that much. Like, I have a friend on Facebook that's somebody I hung out with for 1 week in Paris and then never saw again. Like, I don't care what their sexual orientation is. And if other people care so much about your sexual orientation that they would like to go on your profile and find out which one it is, of the 71, maybe get your priorities straight.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you look at it like that, like, let's say, for example, you're at work, like when you you're at a job, you need to give your information and
Mm,
whatnot, your name, your address, stuff like that, your gender. It's like, let's say when you fill in your gender, let's put gender variant. It's not like now your boss before you work the first day is going to go to all the other employees and say, this person is gender variant. Like, it's
no,
just like,
that's not
rather
gonna.
than putting male, female, or other and assuming need in on a case by case basis or as need be, that person who is gender variant would explain to other people, the other employees,
Yeah,
why they identify in said way. Like,
I personally think that's really unprofessional and should not be brought up in like at work because
so what do
that's
you believe the option should be at work when you fill in the sheet?
you just write what you have between your
Male,
legs.
female, or what? Just male, female. That's
Other.
it. Male, female, other.
Or you write what you freaking have between your legs because how you feel orient. It's like if I wrote. It's like if they asked me my hobbies. That's not gonna help me get the job. That's not gonna help me do a better job.
Well, yeah, assuming you're in a job that's not gender specific.
The only the only jobs that are gender specific is like stripper. Things that require you to use your body in a sexual way. You can go in a construction job as a woman or as a pangender. I don't care. Go for it.
Yeah.
Just the only places where your sexual orientation would matter in a work environment is, well, maybe not even stripping. Like girls strip for other girls even though they're not gay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So in no work environment or or not personal, sorry, or professional environment does that matter. So
Okay.
why is it the most like defining factor of most people? This also
Because
bothers me because like when I was at a really really big server and somebody that I had talked to like in voice chat like this. Oh, he's muted. Oh, he's
yeah, I
unmuted.
was coughing.
Lol. Um, like somebody that I had talked to a year prior to the event. I heard their voice and they were a guy. They actually kind of sounded like. I'm trying to think of somebody that sounded like that. Like a higher pitched and more excited Carson, kind of.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
like higher pitched, like man higher pitched. If you get me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I hung out with them. We played Maple Story. It's the first time I tried Maple Story. It was actually not that bad. And then they just kind of a bunch of drama happened, and they had to go away. I'm not gonna get into that. And then like a year later, they came back, and then when I referred to them as him, or yeah, I referred to them as him, and they got super uppity about it. And I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, like I didn't know, and I wasn't gonna bring up, yeah, but I heard your voice. I was like, okay, so in my head I was like, so that's so important to you. I'm just gonna like give you the win on this one, and like just okay, sorry, man. And they'll call me man. I was like, I call everybody that though. And then everybody was like, that like the way you're phrasing that is super not okay. I was like, why is this happening? Why is everybody ganging up on me for something that I didn't mean to do? And everybody just kind of went crazy about it, and then I just freaking left the place. Just whoop, I'm out of there.
Yeah,
Cause
because you have situations like that. That's more not extreme. I wouldn't consider that to be
no, it's
extreme. It's
not
just
extreme, but the fact that
less tame.
I mean, it's slowly becoming more extreme because there were people I was actually pretty close to in there that I haven't talked to
Yeah.
since. And it's not because we're not friends, it's because that stupid incident happened and now we just no longer have a chance to talk. I mean, Ninja was one of those people, but
Yeah.
he ended up joining the server because he likes Warframe, which was nice.
Yeah.
But like other than that, like there's a bunch of people that we just don't talk anymore because of that. There's a huge misunderstanding, and it's like, yeah, well, I gave him the win because I didn't want to mention the fact that we used to play games together, and I heard his voice. So and then I told Sunny about it, and they were like, well, why don't you see? I even called Sunny they now, just for. I told
I
her,
mean,
And then she was like, well, why don't you tell them that? And I was like, because like, what would that even change at this point? Like, people get mad and do not listen to reason very often. And it was like not the first time they'd gotten mad at me for something so stupid. So I was like, okay, I feel like just trying to come in and solve all this and just asking for pity at that point. I was like, I'm just gonna.
Devil's advocate again here. Stupid for you, but not for them.
I get, yeah. It's stupid for me. So if it's not stupid for you, we're probably not going to be good friends.
Yeah.
That is my objective viewpoint. Because like a lot of this relies on what I'm gonna end up thinking as a person. Maybe that's why I'm not friends with a lot of people, because I think all of this is fucking garbage. And none of it even matters. And people are like, you think equality doesn't matter? I'm like, no, equality matters. What you like to shove in your own asshole does not matter to me. So if we take out all the politically correct garbage from all this, that's literally what it comes down to. What do you like?
I mean, like
inside
for
you?
me, like let's say, like me being a friend with you, if you go home and at the end of the day you go home and you have sex with your wife or your husband, what the fuck does that change for me?
Wife. I need to.
Okay.
See, that's the thing. That's what
Yeah.
somebody who cares about this much would do. They'd be like, "It's actually my other MTF." See, there's neither and other. Wait. Get
I
them
mean,
both.
you have your situation there, but we also had our situation on our server. Very tame, like honestly, the tamest it could have been.
What happened?
With well, I don't want to pop out a name. How would I get through with this?
You could just say what this. You say what happened without saying names. Somebody, just say somebody.
Yeah, basically, we've always known her as a she, and then one day she came out and said that I'm gender fluid. So
In our server?
yeah. And
Let me put another
then
note. Tell me who the fuck this is.
if I put it in text
just
chat, is it on screen, the text chat?
no. If you put it in new susui, it is not in the video.
There you go.
Oh man, that is a while ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. That was so tame because one day she comes up to me. I'm so referring to her as she, and I'm getting to.
Yeah.
And then she's like, it's been like this for a while, but I've had a hard time telling people that I'm actually gender fluid. So depending on how I at the time I wasn't really sure what gender fluid means. So I'm like, so what does it mean exactly? So according to her, according to them, no, I just her. She said that like she changes based on how she feels between male and female because she's not quite sure. So if you note, like if ever you had seen her before, notice that she was a girl. She had long hair.
Physically? No, I've seen
and,
what she looks like. Yeah.
And then she dresses in
Full-time
guys'
girl.
clothes most of the time.
So
yeah,
my
she's
sister
like,
dresses in guys' clothes too. Does that mean she's a? What's the
no,
distinction
but
here?
what I'm saying, and then basically what she was saying to me was, I hope this doesn't change anything. And I said, I don't care. That's you. That's how you identify yourself. But my only case in this was that I said to her, I've always known you as a girl, and I think it would be easier for both of us if I just continued referring to you as a she, rather than, because I'm not going to know when she switches. I'm not going to know when she decides that she's one or the other, or just neither.
Right now, switch, go.
Yeah, like basically that's what I was saying. I said, I think it's better for both of us, like if I just continue referring to you as a girl. And she's like, okay, understandable.
Okay,
that's how it went. That's all she's.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it should be. In a sense, I am not.
Yeah, that should be
saying that she should not be feeling that way. Fine, she could be gender fluid. She could do what she wants. But I've known her for years as a girl, regardless of whether or not she felt she was gender fluid before we met. She always introduced herself to me as a female. as a woman, so that's how I know her.
No,
So
female
for
and woman are different now. Be
okay,
careful.
oh sorry. Basically, what I'm
Like,
getting
see how
at
dumb this is? Like,
is
what's the point?
personally, I don't believe you should be able to change your gender on the.
On the
I
fly,
believe,
yeah.
like, I don't
I
think you
feel
should
like
be
that's
able
such a
to do
cop
that.
out. It's like, oh, look at these 71 options. I want to feel like I fit in, so I'm just gonna have the
No, it's
fucking
like
Super Saiyan of going gay.
I just
What?
feel like it's too many nuances that. Okay, well, forget about it. We're talking about gender fluid now because gender fluid is either male, female, or neither. Oh, and not neither. I can't even use the word neither anymore because that's a
Yeah.
gender on its own.
See? Like, there's too
Okay,
many.
male, female, or none of the above.
And
That's
the
not a.
problem is, some of these are basic English. Like,
Yeah, that's the
other.
pro.
Like, hold on, let me open up the list again. Some of these are basic English. Like, okay, polygender is not. Like, woman, man.
Neither, other, trans.
Yeah, neither, non-binary, which, trust me, a lot of things are non-binary. Guess
Yeah.
what's non-binary? Everything that's not a 1 or a 0. Genius. Anyway, other, trans. Trans is basic English, by the way.
Yeah.
Can we not? So what's the deal with Seinfeld now? So what's the deal with trans fats? Why haven't they attacked those yet? Why haven't they been like, hey, you can't call those trans fats? We're trans. Can't do that.
I guess because it's a word that has multiple different definitions to pin it to.
Yeah, but what if I wanted to say, other for me means this now, and fuck you if you think otherwise.
Other in the sense of gender, though.
Well, fuck it. Other means my left toe. There. If you say other, that's offensive to my left toe. You can't say.
I mean,
that.
you could only be so specific to things like
Well,
from this list in math. A 1 in math is just a number. A 1 in computing means that bit is on.
Yeah.
So it's a difference between being on and then just the value on paper. So you can't really just say, "Oh, I only want it to be seen as a on switch."
But from this list, that's clearly not the case. There is no line.
Because the line is not there because we've essentially abandoned biology in the sense of gender, whereas it doesn't really have anything to do with well, for the people who follow this list, the 71 genders, it's abandoned biology in the sense where your gender is decided by how you feel.
But we can't just abandon biology. That's not how it works.
That's why they've separated sex and gender.
That's like if I told you we're just gonna abandon physics. This mouse, fuck it. It's floating now. I'm abandoning physics. This is beyond fit. No, it's not. None of this is beyond biology.
Yeah, but what they're looking at now
anything.
is not, to them, it's not something that's beyond what can happen within our reality. Like, we can't just say screw gravity and just like float up to the moon.
That's
it's
an
like
SDF quote.
that's what it was supposed to be.
Thank you.
And whereas gender, it's a viable option, obviously, in the sense where they got 71 genders put onto Facebook. Like, it's a battle that they actually have put in. Like, their toes are being dipped in the pool right now. Soon they're gonna jump right in.
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. I think that the whole beyond biology thing doesn't sit right with me. Because there's an explanation for everything. You can't just be like, oh, I'm pangender. This is beyond science.
It started off real simple. We had sex, which was biology. Male, female, penis, vagina. Then gender, which was assigned by society. So a man was mostly seen wearing man's clothes, presented in a manly, like what was considered to be manly. Like, you were presented as a boy. And women, you were expected to follow a certain role. You were the one who carried the children. Typically, in the past, they stayed at home, took care of stuff like that. It was roles assigned to women and men. Gender, it had a lot to do with society and how they assigned these genders to specific sexes. Whereas now, the link between the gender like a man and being male and a woman and being female, the link is being severed. Not, I don't even know if you want to consider it to be severed, but it's
Disfigured
not
would be a better word.
related. It's not related to that biology anymore. It's how you feel about it, because you need to have that
No, yeah,
openness
okay.
to it.
I understand that it doesn't matter what sex you are. You can feel whichever one. That's cool. But, and I don't like saying this because I usually get a lot of flaunt for it. The only person that hasn't, like, had something against this was my dad,
Mm-hmm.
which is fair. But when I say that all of these are a mental disability, you can't prove me wrong. And that's not because I want to be a dick. That's
No,
because it's
I
true. The the biological purpose of a human being is to reproduce. That's why we have, well, it's to survive and reproduce. Excuse me. We have organs specifically made for all of those. Over the years, thanks to evolution theory, we've evolved to become the top of the food chain to survive longer. Over time, we've been able to find ways to survive longer, and survival also includes reproducing, which is carrying our DNA through our children. That's survival. That's how humans have been able to survive longer. But this vocal minority will not be able to reproduce because we're not gonna we're changing so quickly. We're not gonna be able to evolve new methods of surviving as a trans multiplied by male. I'm gonna not stop using that because that star is the multiplied symbol, and
I
you can't
assume it
stop me.
means there's multiple things that could be placed within that.
Maybe, I don't know.
Let me.
That's not my point. My point is that penis goes in vagina, makes baby, and if your brain tells you I don't feel like that's right for me, that's a that's a disability. There's something fundamentally about you that makes you not want to have a kid. I'm not saying people that say I personally don't want to have kids. That's also like not. It's like, well why not? Because I haven't found the right person. Well, now society comes into play here, where you're like, I don't have enough money for it, or I just don't want to. I'm still like, I personally want kids. I don't care if you don't want kids, go for it. But excuse me, like primally, we have to reproduce because if we all decided we want to be one of these 71 genders that don't conform with quote unquote society or whatever you want to call it nowadays, it's like there's something wrong with you. Not in a discriminatory way, but
Yeah,
there's something wrong with you, bud.
but the reason why, well, you obviously know that, but the reason why you see it in that way is because your definition of gender falls within, I guess you'd call it, the traditional sense of gender, whereas in it lies directly with biology.
No, you can have whatever gender you want. I think I'm slowly starting to understand what a gender is. It's how you feel about what you're attracted to. That's gender
It's
separate
not
from
just that,
sex.
it's
Yeah.
also how you represent yourself.
Okay, cool. How you dress, big fucking deal. That
Because
doesn't.
then, like, you used to have like
Okay,
trans man and trans woman. That was like the first big step in a
well,
way.
wait. If that's how you represent yourself, then you're telling me there's infinite genders now, because no two people represent themselves exactly the same way.
Yeah.
So we've got a name for all of them now? That's pointless. That's
They're
useless. There's no
essentially, what
reason for
it's
this.
doing is they're creating more specific yet still broad gender spectrums, in a sense. Like, it's more specific, but there's still variations that fall within each of these more specific genders.
But why is it so far that they're all sexual? Why is
In
there
what
not a
way? What do you mean
single.
they're all sexual?
Pangender means you're attracted to things' personalities. Neither means you're not attracted. It's always by attraction or by something sexual. It's always sex related. Why?
Well, that's because that's how gender was essentially looked at the beginning. It where
But you
if you had a
said it's not
penis,
okay
you
to
were
look
a
at gender that way.
no. Now I'm talking about in a traditional sense. If you were a man, if you were a male,
I
you were
understand. I
viewed
understand that,
gender
but I
man,
need
and you
to.
were, yeah, you were expected to love a woman and have a child. Now that's being abandoned. It's being pushed to the side because they're getting
Yeah,
rid of the traditional
that's.
sense.
Who cares? That's just because society in the 1950s was like women are objects, and that was an okay big
Basically,
deal.
what they're saying now is fuck. But not all people. Some people are saying it. They're saying fuck biology. It's how I feel, regardless of how I look,
But
regardless of what I have. It's how I feel,
but
and
you
that's not
can't.
how
But
gender
that's
worked.
not how it works. You
That's
can't
not
say.
how it used to work.
No, you
Now,
you
because
can't
of
just say
them,
fuck biology. It's not how biology works.
no. But I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm saying that's what some people say.
Then why are we agreeing with it?
I'm not agreeing with it. I'm saying it's just a factor that some people play into. It's what some people believe.
So all of it's wrong.
To us,
Okay, you read the same. You heard the same speech about science, right?
yeah,
About how if we burned it all and then we would try experimenting again, we would get the same results. Like that's why science is. That's why science is facts, because
yeah.
we've proved it in our real world.
Mm-hmm.
You, you're making me explode here. You can't just say no to a science. That's like if I went up
But
to the
that's the
periodic
same
table and
people
said
who
fuck
don't
it.
believe in science. Like, there's people who don't
That's
believe
not how
science is
science
real. There's
works.
people who don't. But it doesn't matter if you don't believe in it. Like, some people don't believe in religion. Some people don't believe in science. They believe that everything was created by religion. There's no science to. There's no such thing as the Big Bang. The Earth is flat. I don't know. There's a bunch of random stuff that some people believe, regardless of
True, but
empirical evidence.
now we're comparing
Regardless,
genders to flat earthers, and we all have a pretty equal
no,
stance on flat earthers.
because first of all, there's always been people who deny science. It's always been a thing. There's people who have killed scientists in the past because they thought that they were like
Yes, but they're
witches,
idiots.
and it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what a lot of it comes down to is the people and how they feel. Those scientists might have been right, they might have been wrong. Even if they were right, they could have still been killed, they could have still been criticized, their work could have still not been published because they were seen as crazy. But that's how the people felt. They felt that regardless of the evidence shown, they were wrong and it's not something they believed in, and they were right in their own way, regardless of the evidence shown to them.
You said they're right in their own way.
Yeah.
No,
They believe they're right in their own way.
doesn't mean you're right.
That's the thing now. Now, it doesn't mean you're right, but to you, you are right. And a lot of the new gender options, the 71 gender options
That's going
on
to lead to
Facebook.
problems later in your life if people make it easy for you to say, you're right in your own little way. You're special, Timmy. Yeah, you're right. The Kool-Aid Man exists. You're right in your own way. We're not going to raise a society of brilliant scientists and Nobel Prize winners here, are we?
There's always going to be brilliant scientists, like, it's just
Nobel Bell Prize winners. Lovely.
my
Our
brain just
brains aren't working so well right now.
It's almost 2 a.m. So
It is. It's 1:45.
and we've been having a nonstop. I was not expecting it to devolve
I'm
into
actually
this.
getting a headache out of this. Not even joking. Like a real headache.
Honestly, I think we could talk about this until both of us pass out. I don't think it's something that would just
I think it's a bad idea
stop.
because this episode is already an hour and a half long. But
see, like, genders, like this podcast we're having, it has a lot to do with opinion and how we feel.
but I feel like we're just gonna go around in a circle of you being
We
devil's
are.
advocate.
We
and
have
telling,
been going like for around.
but-
I'd say around the past half hour. It's been
True.
pretty much a circle, like different words, but
But the thing is, I'm constantly telling you what you're thinking deep down, while you're constantly finding ways to defend the people that are.
oh, I'm not
being
defending
stupid.
them.
You're
I'm
just explaining
bringing-
how it is, which is fine.
Yeah.
But the more you explain it, the more I'm like, so the things I'm saying are right, and so
Yeah.
far they are. So
yeah,
why?
I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is that's how they are.
My largest question is why?
Why what?
Why are we facilitating all of this? We're making
Because people care about how other people feel.
And that's the end of the podcast. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's the point.
That's pretty much it.
There you go. Because people care about other people's feelings. When you shouldn't. Because that doesn't matter. And that's the lesson here today, folks.
Is that how we're ending it?
Yes! Please! End it on this positive lesson that you should not care what other people think.
Let people be themselves and just don't mess with
other. Just let
you
people,
do you.
Yeah.
Don't shove what you want down my throat, please.
Why don't you be you, and I won't care. That's my song.
Have fun editing the episode.
It's fine because I took notes, and the rest isn't gonna be editing because it's a podcast. You should be listening to this while you're driving. Actually, you shouldn't be, because if you have strong opinions on this, you're probably gonna
get really upset.
Yeah, and then later it's gonna get taken out on traffic, like you fucking people are funny. So there you go. The main point of all this is, don't care what other people think. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but then you said don't care what other people think, and why would they care? They want their genders. Then care what you think. They want their genders. I'm telling you, it's a non-stop cycle. It's never gonna end. This could go on forever. Once you include emotions and how you feel, it's a non-stop circle to hell.
No, but think about it. Now I want to prove the bullshit you just said that to be wrong. Because it is.
You can say it. Go ahead.
You shouldn't care what other people think. Then why do you care what genders they associate with? Because that's a social label. The only thing that are going to see that are other people who are going to care. And
wait, you're still recording, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you...
I mean, I really want to end it. But I don't want to have to sit here and fucking prove.
No, let's just do final thoughts. Like,
I personally believe society's garbage. Ignore society. No. Okay. Quit your job. Be homeless.
My personal thought. I don't
personal
believe...
final thought. Go for it. I'll pull mine after. I'm gonna turn around just so I don't interrupt you.
No, it's fucking fine. I don't care. You can. It's gonna be very, very short.
Condescendingly right now.
It's gonna be short and sweet. I don't believe all these genders are.
End of episode. Bye.
Focus so we can finish this.
No, I'm tired.
I don't believe we need the 71 genders. I believe we were fine with just male, female, other. I don't believe it makes a difference. It's just that's what it is. I understand people feel the need to have distinctions, but I personally don't feel that it's necessary. Like, I don't believe it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
So my final thoughts. If you were offended by the bit where I said that these are mental disorders, you need to get your priorities in check and not care about the opinion of a stranger on the internet making YouTube videos at 2 in the morning. You really need a more solid self-esteem there. But other than that, do whatever you want, fuck whoever you want, suck whoever you want. Doesn't matter to me. Say what you want to say. Say what you want to say. I have devolved into song lyrics. That's my final thoughts. There you go. That's it.
Goodbye.
We love you. Please unsubscribe because you didn't enjoy that I said you had a mental disorder. And when I told Sarah, wait, is her name out? No, fuck it. Edit that part out. Not really.
I actually took a screenshot of it yesterday.
Yeah,
so I have it
you
too.
Can't work if fast food all your life, but don't sign that. Least
why do you put Grim with 2 M's?
Because I already have a bunch of images on my computer that start with Grim, so finding the right one would have been difficult. I have like Grim meme, Grim face reveal. That's so stupid, but it's lovely.